What are you doing in my dorm?
Do you want to adopt a Prescott? If you answer yes to this question, then here are some great tips on how to make sure they grow up happy and healthy.
You're such a nosy bitch, Max!
Tip number 1. Never ignore a Prescott. They like to be the center of attention and feel superior.
Stop right there, Nathan.
Make me, ho!
Tip number 2. Never tell a Prescott what to do. They are angry, filled with teen angst, and like to be the alpha. Tip number 3. If you're going to show any form of gesture, motion, or affection for a Prescott, do it lightly. A small hug or pat on the back to be precise. Prescotts don't like to be touched by those they don't trust.
Max, I got this!
Tip number 4. Taking tip number 2 into account, never act superior when facing a Prescott.
Get the fuck out of my face!
Tip number 5. Prescotts have a very vivid and honest vocabulary. If a Prescott feels threatened, they will put up their defense by speaking accordingly. Take your time with the Prescott. Make them feel loved, following tip number 1, number 2, and number 3 very carefully. Tip number 6. Push come to shove. If you ever have to discipline a Prescott, never use violence. They are defenseless and can't protect themselves. Refer to tip number 3 if this ever does occur.
You are so fucking dead!
Tip number 7. Prescotts rely on objects and weapons to defend themselves if they feel threatened. Carefully take the weapon from the Prescott and make them feel safe and loved. Refer to tip number 3 once again. Tip number 8. Refer to tip number 3. Refer to tip number 3. Refer to tip number 3.
Corin, stop it! Come on.
Oh, my head!
Tip number 9. If a Prescott is under attack, step in, but don't make it too obvious.
Why are y'all looking at me like that, huh? You and you're all dead!
Prescotts are easily embarrassed if they feel submissive and weak.
My dad is on his way. You're all fucked. He owns you.
Tip number 10. They will resort to anything possible to feel superior. Allow them to do this, as it's the only way they know how to cope with their failures. If you followed these tips, then you are on the road to raising a happy and healthy Prescott. Congratulations.